Hi, Theresa.
Hi.
How's it going?
It's going well.
Good. How's your day?
It was busy,
Yeah.
but good. Busy's good.
Thanks for doing this video.
Of course. Anything for you.
um, so, this is about being Mexican and the Mexican culture. So, just have a few questions about that. Um, what does the Mexican culture mean to you? Um, and what does it consist of?
Well, to me, it's family. It's about being close to your family and doing anything for them and putting them first all the time. It's about knowing where you came from, knowing your history, your roots.
Oh.
I know. I love my family so much. And just um, going down the line, traditions are really important. My dad is very Caucasian, and there are things that have been ingrained in me throughout my life from my Hispanic side that are totally lacking on the other side. It's like night and day. You know, I have my great grandmother's tamale recipe that we do every year, that we all get together, and it's like the one holiday that everybody doesn't have to rush off to their in-laws or to wherever, and we can all just sit there as a family and pass down a tradition, which is something I feel like doesn't really happen in other cultures. I feel like remembering family and having family is just, it's awesome.
Yeah. I was going to say what food comes to mind, but obviously tamales.
Well, that, yeah, and like, you know, your mom's enchiladas, like, you could make them. They won't taste the same.
They never do.
I
Mine never
know.
does. Never.
Yeah. So yeah, food, smells.
Yeah.
It's definitely a thing. It's cultural. It's awesome.
And is there any other significant ways that being Mexican influenced your upbringing?
Absolutely. Especially kind of getting both ends of it. Like, I'm half white and half Mexican. My brother has blonde hair and blue eyes. I obviously don't. And so seeing how differently people treated us really kind of came into fruition, that like how people see you. You know, they see
Right.
somebody with dark skin and dark hair that looks a certain way, and they treat you differently. It's really interesting. You don't really notice it as a kid, but as you grow up, it's like it is really interesting, and it's definitely a thing.
Okay. I have a cousin who's kind of similar. Like, she's super light skinned, but she's more Mexican than I am. And she's like, yeah, I think people have been like racist against me because she's so light, you know? It doesn't make, I mean,
right.
people, yeah. I don't even know how to.
It is, but it's really interesting to watch how differently people treat me and treat my brother because we look different.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Crazy.
It's crazy.
How did it feel growing up, like being born and raised in San Diego, being Mexican? Do you think that it would have been like, what do you think?
I think it's a lot easier now than it was for like my mom in, you know, the 70s,
Right.
when things were different. I
Yeah.
think now, I want to say now, because I want to believe it's true, that people are kind of more used to like mixed races or
Right.
different cultures in
Yeah.
white society. But I want to say, like, back in the day, my grandparents didn't teach my mom how to speak Spanish because it was looked down upon.
There was shame about it. Yeah.
Well, it was, they just didn't want them to be, you know, judged in a white neighborhood, and now it's, everybody looks at me like, why don't you speak Spanish?
Me too. Yeah.
And I'm like, well, back in the 70s, you know,
Yeah.
my grandparents didn't teach it to my parents because it wasn't something that, you know, they didn't want them to get
Looked down on for.
yeah.
Do you have any like surprise or interesting like fact or thought about the Mexican culture that you would like to share with my classmates?
Any surprises?
I mean, it doesn't have to be a surprise, but just something like interesting or like.
Not necessarily. I really appreciate my Mexican culture because family is such a big deal.
Yeah.
And I would be completely lost without them.
Yeah.
And I don't see that in so many other cultures. Like
it's
a different
sad,
kind.
Yeah.
It's a different kind of love.
Yeah.
And I'm grateful for that every day.
Yay! Oh, okay. Well, thanks for sharing your familia and your tradicionals. Is that a word? No. Okay. All right. Bye.
Bye.